Joined by Butler head coach Chris Holtman and Butler student athletes Andrew Schrabas, who had 15 points. Kamar Baldwin had 13. Keelan Martin, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. We'll start with an opening statement from the coach, then take questions for the student athletes. Coach, please.
Really proud of our guys. We beat a really good team in Middle Tennessee. We get so much respect for how Kermit's team plays and how they compete, and we saw it in film for the last 36 hours, and incredibly impressed. I just love our guys. I love the fight that they showed, possession after possession, and players win games. We've got really good players, and they had a heck of an effort.
Thanks, Coach. Questions for the student athletes, please.
For Andrew and Keelan, just to get through this round after losing the last 2 years here, is there a big sense of relief?
I mean, for sure. Before the week started, we knew that this was a 1 week at a time thing, and 1 day at a time even. So getting past Winthrop with the W and then going to this one, we knew it was going to be a great challenge. So getting the W today, it is a relief, but we know that we're not done yet. We're going to have to focus for whoever our next opponent is coming up.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew. I think we know that Winthrop and Middle Tennessee was tough. So, there's tough games throughout this tournament. Nothing's going to be easy. And it's just one game at a time, one possession at a time. And I think for us staying together was the biggest key to our victory.
David Woods, Indianapolis Star. Andrew, you seem to get more touches in the second half than the first. Was that something that was discussed at halftime? Was that a point of emphasis, or is that just kind of the way that things evolved?
Just how they evolved. I mean, people finding me in open areas, coaches making great calls. I mean, when they find me in the sweet spot, I mean, I have to be aggressive, or I'm making a fault to the team, passing it out. Especially with the way they weren't helping off too much, with Avery sitting right in front of me. I mean, that's an unbelievable shooter, obviously. So opened the floor completely, and it definitely was a huge factor for us.
Michael Bellert, Sports Illustrated. Kamar, Giddy Potts scoreless tonight, 0 for 7, on the heels of Keon Johnson, 7 for 19. I know it's not just you, but you've got primary duty on those guys. What went into your preparation for this matchup, especially with just 2 days going into it?
Just make them take tough shots the whole game. It was a great team effort. It took the whole unit to keep those guys in check, and we were able to do that both games.
Other questions for the student athletes? Right here in front, please.
Keelan, you guys had gotten into some foul trouble there in the second half, and you had to switch off on Williams a couple times there, and then Upshaw a lot. Can you just talk about your defensive in the way that you had to step up there?
I mean, they're not your typical big man. They both can handle the ball. They're both like 3s and 4s. So I think me and my team stepped up defensively, and we just try to make them take tough shots, like Kamar said.
Keelan, you I think have been urged for the last 3 seasons by Coach Holtman to influence the game more than just by shooting, and we saw that in multiple ways today. Is that something that you're like mindful of every day? Does it come more naturally to now? I mean, just kind of how did that whole process work? Because since you're coming off the bench in February, I mean, your efficiency ratings have been extremely high.
It's just a mindset. It's a want to. You got to want to defend, want to rebound, and just doing other things than scoring, impacting the game in other ways. And I think I've been doing that coming off the bench since February, like you said. But just bringing energy to the game, and I think I've been doing that. That's why we've been advancing, so we're not done yet.
Michael Cohen from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. This question's for any of you guys. Middle Tennessee State never had the lead tonight, and part of that was due to the hot shooting you guys had early. Just generally speaking, how different is it to play with a little bit of an advantage from the beginning so that you don't have to chase for 35 minutes the way that they did? How different is that feeling? Because I'm sure at times you guys have been in both spots over the course of your careers.
All right, I got it. I mean, we know how explosive they are at the same time. So we're never relaxed in those moments. Like you said, yeah, we were shooting really well, but we know that the only way you're going to win in these games is making sure your defense is on point. So making sure that we were focusing on that. And even when they made the run late in the second half, we knew that we had to gather back together. And because, like I said, the game's still not in our hands by any means until the final buzzer goes. So that was a big thing for us.
Right over there. I'm sorry if you've been asked this yet, or before, but how did it take a little while to get used to that defense? I mean, they were 1-3-1, they morphed into a 2-3, they did all kinds of different stuff. Did it take a while before you felt comfortable attacking it?
Yeah, we've seen 1-3-1s, but nothing like that, honestly. That's way more extended than we've seen. I know I was a little sloppy with it today, but once we got, like you said, once you got comfortable with it, you look over the top of it a little bit more, and then that's when we were able to find open opportunities in the corners, especially, and then penetrating. But yeah, it's something very unique, and definitely you can practice it as much as you want, but then once you see it in a game, it's something completely different just because they've practiced it over and over and over again. So we were luckily able to adapt pretty quickly.
Anything else for the student athletes? All right, thanks, guys. Congratulations on advancing to the Sweet 16. Questions for Coach, please.
David Woods with Indianapolis Star again. Chris, if you had to identify one or two or three things that led to this outcome, what would your checklist be?
We made shots, for one. Things look different when you make shots. I think that opened some things for us. I knew we're going to need to make shots against their changing defense. I thought defensively we were really solid. I thought our zone really helped us, kept them out of the paint some, and that was important for us. But I thought our man and zone were both really effective. And then I thought our guys played with great resilience, like they have all year. We've got really good players who play with the right mindset and respond to the adversity in the game with the right maturity. And I think we needed resiliency against a team that we really respect.
Coach, what was the big thing for Andrew in the second half, the way that at times it seemed like he took over the game?
We went to him some on the low block a little bit more. We've done that the bulk of we've tried to close games playing through him really in the last 7 or 8 minutes, so it's not too different. It's hard to maybe do that the whole game because teams change how they guard him and stuff. So plus we played him at the 5 there late, which helped us in a little bit of a mismatch.
Chris, you, I think, mentioned 3 times in the news conference yesterday that Middle Tennessee was Final Four caliber and kind of the trendy pick to win. Did you kind of deliver a similar message to your guys? It seemed like you were trying to get them back in an underdog position, which this program has traditionally operated well out of.
I was just reading my phone. I was just reading. I was reading what people were sending me. Honestly, David, I had a coach friend of mine send me a clip yesterday of CBS Sports Network saying we weren't good enough to beat them. We didn't have good enough players to beat Middle Tennessee. I'm not going to call those guys out. I'd love to, but I'm not going to. I didn't show that to our guys, but to say that burned me up, it absolutely burned me up. Now, did we say to them that there was no question that they were the trendy pick to beat us? Absolutely. As I said earlier to our team in there, as the late Joe Cornette said, we're still here.
Chris, how did you feel to your left? I'm sorry, Bob Kravitz, WTHR in Indianapolis. How did you feel like you needed to massage the foul troubles that your guys had? I know you went to a zone after a couple of guys got in foul trouble.
Yeah. The hardest stretch for us was when when Andrew got 2 fouls earlier in the first half, because he is a guy we play through so much, and he's great at reading things, and he's solid defensively. So balancing that was critical, and then we had that kind of rough stretch in the first half where he was out that was a concern for me. But getting to the half with him with 2 fouls was critical. And then I think the zone did help us because they were going to just throw it inside on us if we didn't mix it up a little bit.
Rich Rovito, Associated Press. Your players talked about it, but was there anything specific you were doing on Potts? I know Savage was in his shirt most of the game. He looked really, really frustrated. They were trying to run him off screens, and I think that's only the second time in his career he's been held scoreless.
He's a really good player. He's a really good player. And, I think our guys just made him work, just tried to make him work, be where he was at, find him in the zone or man, have great awareness of him. 30, 22, and 20 are they really good. I just got a lot of respect for how they play and how hard they play. The whole team, how Kermit coaches those guys. I got so much respect for what they bring to the game. To get 31, they're 31-5. There's no way they were a 12 seed. So to hold him scoreless was big.
Michael Cohen from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. As the game played out and Potts was not as much of a factor as Middle Tennessee would have hoped, were you able to do anything defensively to adjust and focus more attention in other areas, perhaps, that you thought might have helped you?
Not necessarily. I think we just tried to stick to the game plan. We didn't do a whole lot of stuff. We trapped the post a few times because we knew they were going to go there. It wasn't real effective, to be real honest. But no, he's a guy that can get 8 or 9 on you in a real hurry. So we didn't feel like at any time we really took him out of the game. We tried to stay as highly detailed with him as possible.
Chris, when you have that quick turnaround, how much of a challenge is it to face a team that kind of plays a different kind of defense? What did you do to prepare besides the experience you had against Xavier?
Yeah, I tell you, Bob, our staff did an outstanding job with these 2 game plans. They really did, and I can't say that enough. Terry Johnson, Ryan Peden, Mike Schrage, and Emerson Campen and Brandon Crone they did a terrific job preparing this game plan in a really simple way against a complex defensive team. And that was really our approach, is we wanted to be simple more than anything with a quick turnaround. And we tried to get as much in yesterday as possible, and so that today they could play with a free mind. I told them, hey, by noon today, the game plan's going to be, you're going to know it backwards and forwards, and you're going to be able to relax until tip and play with a free mind. And our staff did a great job doing that.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.